They say the human mind is capable of unimaginable things, but when it comes to Emilia Lily Carr, the youngest person ever on death row, that takes on a whole new meaning.
I was told prior to trial and the day that the trial began that if I would have taken a plea, I would have avoided the death penalty. While the person who actually committed the crime got a life sentence. That's just, no, that's not right. It's foolish. Because I didn't accept the plea because I wasn't gonna sign my life away for something I didn't do. I'm actually one of those people. I am sitting on death row for nothing more than a series of lies.
In February 2009, Heather Strong was abducted and brutally killed in Marion County, Florida. Her murderer, Emilia Lily Carr, was convicted in December 2010 and received a death sentence by lethal injection in February 2011. Who was Emilia Carr, the youngest girl ever on death row? And what drove her to commit such a horrifying deed? Emilia Carr, born Emilia Era, was the middle sister of 3 with an estimated IQ of 125. At 15, she reported fatherly abuse, but later withdrew her statement. Her father was convicted for attempting to orchestrate his family's murder in 2004. Carr married twice, filing a restraining order against an ex-husband and facing probation for involvement in grand theft. She had 3 kids, one with her ex-boyfriend, Jamie Ackholm. In November 2008, Carr got engaged to Joshua Fulham, who married Heather Strong a month later. Despite this, Carr remained in contact and babysat Strong's children. In January 2009, Fulham threatened Strong with a shotgun but was released. Investigators found Carr had coerced Strong into withdrawing her complaint with a knife threat. Carr and Fulham resumed their relationship while Strong moved on. A custody battle ensued between Fulham and Strong over their 2 children. In February 2009, 26-year-old Heather Strong from Citra, Florida, vanished while working at a gas station restaurant. Reported missing on February 15th, her remains were found on March 19th in a shallow grave near a storage trailer in Broadman. Emilia Carr, who was pregnant with Joshua Fulham's child, was arrested after giving multiple statements without a lawyer and being recorded discussing the crime. Carr lured Strong into the storage trailer, attempting to break her neck and eventually suffocating her with a plastic bag while she was taped to a chair. Joshua Fulham, Strong's estranged husband, was arrested for fraudulently using her credit cards. Carr managed to avoid arrest until March 24, 2009, constantly negotiating with detectives to distance herself from the crime. Although Strong and Fulham were married with 2 children, Carr and Fulham were romantically involved at the time of Heather's death. Carr, 7 months pregnant with Fulham's child, claimed he threatened her similarly. Carr's conversation revealing the killing details was recorded by law enforcement. Carr's defense emphasized her stressful high-risk pregnancy and recent loss of a child custody, arguing she was as much as a victim as Heather. The trial hinged on jurors' interpretation of Carr's videotaped confessions.
Are they out there to do justice, or are they out there to win? And in Emilia's case, they were out to win. Law enforcement is very crafty, and they're out there to win. She believed that her love and her heart and her honesty would bear out. Because of her emotional state and physical state, being pregnant, the hormones, they play all sorts of tricks on your head. She was an innocent that was manipulated by law enforcement into giving a false confession.
Carr's defense shifted the blame onto Fulham, who awaited trial on similar charges while in custody. They portrayed him as a jealous, possessive man who desired Strong, who had connections to other men exclusively for himself.
We had a lot of similar passions. She wanted to be a teacher. I became a massage therapist. We got along really well. Our children is where we were closer. We both had that maternal love, and we both always tried to do what was best for our kids.
In March of 2009, Carr delivered her 4th child in custody at Marion County Jail. Her children were all put into foster care. Carr confessed to the investigators, but asserted she did so hoping to be reunited with her kids.
They befriend you, they just want to clear this up, they want to clear your name, and nothing can be further from the truth. Police are not on your side, and they are trained in interrogation techniques.
She was very conniving. She was very good at manipulating people. She's, I think, truly what you would call a sociopath.
Carr and Fulham waived their right to speedy trial in April of 2009. Prosecutor Hooker sought the death penalty due to the heinous crime. Despite no physical evidence, Carr's taped confession was decisive. During Carr's trial, an hour-long tape of her admitting to the crime was played, becoming the most damaging evidence. In November 2009, Judge Pope denied Carr's request for a trial delay. Carr was found guilty of first-degree murder and kidnapping on December 7, 2010. Despite her family's testimony about her traumatized childhood, the jury voted for the death penalty. Carr was sentenced to lethal injection on February 22, 2011. Joshua Foreman faced trial in April 2012 for his involvement in the atrocious slaying, with prosecutors revealing the horrific details. Both sides agreed jealousy and betrayal motivated the murder. He was convicted of first-degree slaying and kidnapping, but his jury recommended life imprisonment without parole, which the judge followed. At 17, Carr became the youngest female on death row, joining 3 others, Tiffany Cole, Margaret Allen, and Anna Marie Cardona, at Lowell Correction Institution Annex.
Shaking so bad.
The duct tape, the asphyxiation. What do you feel? Life row? Why?
Because we're not dying, we're living.
Do you ever think I might be executed?
No, you can't have that mentality.
Do you call it death row?
No, we call it life row. That means you've accepted
You've already
this.
died. You've already died.
Yeah, you
You're
cannot
already
have
dead.
that mentality.
Carr became the first female to receive a death sentence in Marion County since Aileen Wuornos's 1992 conviction. Once the youngest woman facing such a grave penalty, Carr's destiny shifted after an evidentiary hearing on May 19, 2017, when the state opted not to pursue a new death penalty phase. Court documents show the 5th Judicial Circuit Court Judge, Willie Pope, resented Carr, who was 32 at the time, to life imprisonment without parole. She had been contesting her sentence since 2011. As mentioned during her trial, the jury voted 7-5 in favor of capital punishment for Carr. Carr challenged her sentence, presenting multiple concerns, such as potential mistakes by the trial judge and the severity of the death penalty. In 2015, the Florida Supreme Court confirmed Carr's death sentence. The High Court stated in its ruling, this case centered on a love triangle involving the victim, Heather Strong, her estranged spouse, Joshua Foreman, and the accused, Emilia Carr, which concluded when Carr and Foreman executed their scheme to murder Strong. Carr initiated the appeal process again, alleging ineffective counsel.
I was told prior to trial and the day that the trial began that if I would have taken a plea, I would have avoided the death penalty. Yes, I was told prior to trial. That's just, no, that's not right. That's foolish. Because I didn't accept the plea because I wasn't gonna sign my life away for something I didn't do.
During an evidentiary hearing on her appeal, Carr's fate took a turn. Her resentencing occurred at a crucial moment for Florida's death penalty. Deemed unconstitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court in January 2016, the state's capital punishment system became a subject of dispute and modification. In October 2016, the Florida Supreme Court issued an opinion mandating a unanimous jury. By March of 2017, Governor Rick Scott had enacted new regulations necessitating a unanimous jury verdict for the death penalty. The Florida Supreme Court was still finalizing jury instructions for the revised death penalty system when Carr challenged her sentence.
Everyone in prison will tell you they're innocent. They were framed or they had a confession beat out of them by law enforcement. Either they were at the wrong place at the wrong time, while the person who actually committed the crime got a life sentence. I'm actually one of those people. I am sitting on death row for nothing more than a series of lies.